What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today in this video we're going to be taking a look at my favourite quickscoping or sniping class within Advanced Warfare. I say quickscoping or sniping because some people like to quickscope, some people just a normal snipe. I personally like to do a little bit of both. That's the gameplay clips you'll see right here. I'm definitely not a quickscoper, I wouldn't class myself as one, but I do what most people call would probably be normal sniping, and I will scope in a second or two before taking the shot. But sometimes I will quickscope in a situation where someone is about to shoot me. I will quickscope, and so it's whichever kind of playstyle you prefer, and hopefully this class will benefit you whichever type of sniping you prefer personally, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. So I'm going to run through the class options and why I picked them, and at the end I'll show you the full class and summarize the builds. The sniper we're going to be using is the Moors. This is definitely my favorite sniper, and it's a good all-rounder. Every COD has one. It's that very consistent bolt action sniper that feels great to use, and the one I'm using right here is a variant I've got in a supply drop. It's an elite variant, so one of the best ones you can get, which is called the Silver Bullet. This has a less fire rate and less handling, and the compromise for that is increased damage and increased accuracy, and I really like that trade-off. It's a very cool one, and it's got this really cool silver and red theme on it. That's the kind of camo that comes with the supply drop weapon. I've also got the gold camo on the weapon on top of the normal one, so that's why it's kind of like this mix between gold and red, in case you're wondering what kind of camo this is or like why it looks like that. It's a very strange one, but that's because there's a gold camo I've unlocked on top of the actual supply drop variant, which is normally silver and red. And so attachments for this weapon I've gone to choose. First one is the Ballistic Cpu, and this is pretty much the only essential one I would recommend for any normal scope. It reduces the sway when aiming down sights. There's less idle sway of the actual crosshairs. I would massively recommend this. Can't recommend it enough. It's definitely one of those essential attachments you always need on your sniper rifles, and they are very limited Advanced Warfare. There aren't too many attachments that really make much of a difference, and I've also gone for the stock to increase my mobility while aiming down sight, so I've gone strafe side to side. Easy, that helps me in kind of close quarters engagements, and also quite well if I'm peeking around the corner to take shots and I'm aiming down sight. I can peek around the corner and move pretty fast, and I can dodge back behind cover, so that comes in handy in that situation. I can see why some people might not like the stock, because it does make it a little bit less accurate because you're moving a lot faster and it's kind of like jogging your aim a little bit. But other than that, there aren't really too many attachments which are too helpful. Obviously there's no quick draw to kind of aim down sight in this game, and so feel free to use the ACOG or thermal or variable sight or iron sights even if you wish. It's just personal preference. I prefer the default scope, so that's what I'm using right here in this build. And for a secondary, I've gone for the pistol, the MP44-3, and this is a 2-round burst pistol. It's pretty decent in close range, and the pistols are nothing special in this game, but it gets the job done if someone's really close to me and I've already taken my sniper shot. And then the perks I've gone for are lightweight, so I can move faster. Very simple but very essential perk, especially using snipers because they're very heavy. I'm also using Peripherals. As you guys know, it's one of my favorite perks. It allows you to see much more of the minimap, so you can see what's going on around you. In tier 3, we're going to use 2 perks. We're going to use Toughness, which isn't as powerful in previous games, but still adds an advantage in that you flinch less when you're shot, so when you're scoped in, your aim won't be flying all over the place if you're under some fire from an enemy that's far away from you. And then the final perk we're going to use, is also in tier 3, is called Blast Suppressor. I find this very useful. Most of the time when I'm sniping, I will be hopping up onto tall buildings and kind of finding those really good vantage points to kind of get that verticality on top of the enemies, and when I'm doing so, you always have to boost or double jump to get on top of those buildings, and this is a very good help because the enemy aren't going to be seeing you making those little pings on the radar when you're boost jumping and doing those kind of mechanics. This is very helpful when you're going on top of buildings and the enemy don't know where you are, so I find that very essential to me. And obviously I'm using perk 3 Greed as a wild card, so I can have 2 perks within the 3rd tier. Now when it comes to abilities, I've gone something a little bit out of the ordinary that might seem a bit strange, and this is to be using 2 actual exo abilities. So I'm using the wildcard Tactician, which allows me to have 2 abilities instead of my grenades and stuff. And so the first one I've gone for is Cloak, which I found to be surprisingly good. Often I'll be looking down very long lines of sight, and enemies won't be able to see me because I'm cloaked, I'm invisible. It doesn't really work too well up close, and for a rushing build it doesn't really work at all because you are pretty distinguishable from your background. It does depend on massively the map you're playing, the lighting, all that stuff, but in general when you're really far away from someone or when you're sniping, the enemy find it very difficult to actually see you, and it might gain you an extra second, which is just enough time for you to be able to take the shot for them to actually notice there's an invisible guy, because not many people know to look for someone that's cloaked, especially when you're far away. As I've said, you might be able to peek out of your lines of sight and take someone out before they actually notice there's a cloaked guy over there, because it is quite hard to recognize sometimes. And even in sniping battles, when I'm sniping against other snipers, say across the map, and I'm kind of like going on the 1v1 battle, I can peek my head out, say head glitch to them, and they might not even notice it because I'm cloaked slightly, so it can come in very handy, and that's why you've seen me do it in this gameplay. And the second one I've gone for is Stim. This gives you a tiny boost of health, and when you're in long range engagement it can really really help. Or even with another sniper, it might help you survive his shot so you can take yours. And then for score streaks, I've gone for a very simple one, just the UAV. Sometimes I like to put the support module on it if I feel like I'm probably going to die a lot. And when I go sniping, I like to run non-lethal kill streaks, just a very simple UAV to know where the enemies are. And the support module guarantees I'll get it even if I'm dying a lot, because sniping sometimes can be very difficult if the enemy are very aggressive. And so that's what the score streak I'm using in this build. And here is the build in total. Hopefully you have found this class helpful, and hopefully you enjoy this class yourself. Let me know if you're going to use it and how you got on using it. Also feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment section. Maybe you would like to swap one perk for another. Let me know how you would alter this class. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you found it helpful, give it a like rating. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be uploading a ton more Advanced Warfare videos. Keep an eye out on my channel. You don't want to miss those. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later.